Hello, welcome to JIBRIN Angle on Oweleke TV. My name is JIBRIN, and this is my angle. We have Barrister Austin Manta today with us, a very, very senior legal practitioner I have so much respect for because of his legal jurisprudence. Someone I respect so much. And Barrister, thank you for joining us once again.
Thank you, and it's always my pleasure to be here.
All right, let's get on to it. We have so many viewers, we have so much to discuss today, but we'll be just starting from, we have about different topics, about 4 or 5 different topics to take care of today. And I hope Barry Samantha will actually show justice to these topics, as always. We start. Let's start from what the most recent thing. This week has been a whole lot of. It's been a news week indeed. So many activities going on in the polity. So let's start. But let's start from what happened yesterday. With Labour Party Abure. Barrister. No, not Labour Party. Sorry. With River State. I don't know. Are you inclined? Are you informed on the latest judgment, appeal court judgment on River State House of Assembly leadership? It's not actually leadership. I think it has to do with the budget.
Yes, you are right. I am following the developments there.
Yeah. Briefly? Let's just talk about that briefly. What is your opinion on that? Is in your own wisdom, legal wisdom or understanding, is the appeal court on the right course? Is that the right judgment based on what we have, an existing situation?
Well, at the expense of not reading the entire judgment, but knowing what the issues are,
Yes.
I will say that the state government somehow shot themselves in the foot, because at the beginning of the crisis, there was a suit by the state government challenging the continued stay of the 27 lawmakers in the House of Assembly. On that basis, the state government presented the Appropriation Act to the 4 or 5 member faction, which was passed. The 27 members then went to court to challenge that passing of that Appropriation Act. After that, the president, that is Tinubu, stepped in to try to bring a solution. And they adopted, I believe, the 10-point plan that we spoke on this platform before, if
Yes,
you
I
recall.
remember. Yeah.
One of which was that all the parties should withdraw all the cases that they had filed in court. Now, Fubara's faction went and withdrew their case.
Yeah, I remember then. Yeah.
But the House of Assembly did not withdraw its own case,
Wow.
challenging the passage of the Appropriation Act. So the case challenging their eligibility to continue sitting in the House was withdrawn based on the president's intervention. But they did not withdraw their case challenging the passage of the Appropriation Act. It was then the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt held that the 4-member panel could not validly pass the budget. Then the government appealed to the Court of Appeal. It is that judgment that the Court of Appeal affirmed yesterday, meaning that the Appropriation Act was not
Illegal.
properly passed. So that is as far as technically, that is as far as things stand. But the issue whether these 27 members have become and therefore lost their right to participate in the House of Assembly has not been decided. by the court because the case on it was withdrawn. That's why I say, in a way, the state government shot itself on the foot. We discussed the constitutional provisions relating to decampment on this platform, and I was very explicit. And I still hold the view that the provisions of the Constitution are self-executing. The Supreme Court has already decided the issue that once you decamp on the legislative basis, this does not affect the executive. Once you are a legislator elected on the platform of a party and you decamp, and there is no crisis in that party, you automatically lose your seat.
So, at this point, as it stands now, the state government already withdrew that. That means that is not in court. This issue of the 27 that decamped, the issue that like they withdrew it, like as you said, by the prompt of the president's advice. It's sort of so, but so what you are saying now is that case is not it's not in court right now.
It's not in court.
Wow.
But what I do not know is whether they subsume the argument of the eligibility in this appropriation case. That I don't know because I do not have the details. I have not seen the full judgment.
But my question is, I don't know, you are not them, but let me ask you probably if you can get into their mind why they actually decided to continue to do it this way. Now, they withdrew the case, but like you said, the other parties did not withdraw the case. Why? Didn't they know that the case was still ongoing, that they had to refile it? If the other part, because it's supposed to be an agreement, it's a peace stuff. Both parties were supposed to withdraw both cases. So they withdraw, the state government withdrew their case against the 27 legislators. And obviously they knew that the 27 legislators didn't do likewise. So why didn't they continue? Why didn't they act? Why weren't they proactive in nipping the whole thing in the bud before this judgment came up?
I cannot answer that question, but the Attorney General of Rivers State is the senior advocate of Nigeria. I do not understand how
does that matter? I don't so much like when people use this sign of a thing to justify someone's wisdom or foolishness.
It comes down to the fact that he's a senior lawyer. So I do not understand how they could leave a gap in the process, which has now been exposed. With the judgment of the Court of Appeal, the 27 or weakest faction, so to speak, are already claiming that it justifies their eligibility to sit as members of the the River State House of Assembly.
But
which has terrible implications.
Yeah.
Which has terrible implications because they can now sit and lawfully impeach
the governor. Yes.
If that is the implication of the judgment. The governor has come up to say that they are going to appeal to the Supreme Court and they will ask for a stay of execution. At the same time, they are arguing that the issue of eligibility was not decided. So it
was not decided. That means, is this thing court? That's my problem. I asked that question earlier. Is that issue of eligibility still in court? I thought you said they withdrew it from court.
The government withdrew its own case. The government withdrew its own case.
Yeah, that's the state government.
The president.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That case would have decided the eligibility of these 27 lawmakers to sit as members of the House of Assembly.
It was withdrawn.
But there was still a window, which is why I'm saying I cannot be definitive because I have not seen the judgment. If they had withdrawn, they could still come to this case and still argue the same issue in that case. It was broad enough. You can now tell the court that the reason why you cannot present this case before those people is that they are no longer members of the River State House of Assembly. And you can ask for a declaration But that would have been by way of amendment because they had filed the matter before without those reliefs being sought. So I don't know if they amended their claim to incorporate these reliefs so that they could be decided in this case or not. I have not seen the judgment. But the implication is, or of the judgment, is that the four members that sat could not validly sit to decide or pass the Appropriation Act. That's what the summary of what the Court of Appeal decided.
So let's assume that this thing is not embedded. The issue of eligibility is not embedded, or rather, it's not co-opted in the current proceedings. Um, do they still have a case to bring it back? The governor,
Well,
the
what
government.
we always say that a court cannot decide an issue that is not before it. Now, if they did not incorporate these arguments in this one, it can not be too late to go
Okay,
back
all right.
and
That's what.
institute an action. And secondly, there is a legal issue that I don't know whether it was raised or not. The Appropriation Act itself is an act of the House of Assembly. It's a state law. So the proper court with jurisdiction to determine its viability is a state high court. It should not be the federal high court. I don't know if this issue was raised and canvassed in that case or not, because you are talking about a law passed by the House of Assembly of State. The jurisdiction of the federal high court is in respect of federal matters,
All
not
right.
state matters. So I
Yeah.
don't know if that kind of thing, that kind of jurisdictional issue was raised in that case. But again, being an issue of jurisdiction, it's not too late to raise it even at the Supreme Court. It can still be raised by way of presenting it as a fresh issue before the Supreme Court. So
Yeah.
the governor has said that they are going to Supreme Court. They will ask for a stay of execution. So for now, his position is that those people remain outside the House of Assembly of the state. That is the position. They gave a press conference and said that the court did not reinstate those people.
Yeah, that means
But,
that means probably that issue of eligibility is incorporated in the current appeal court proceeding. That is what it means if they made that statement.
but don't forget, if you make that statement, it's a double-edged sword. When you say the court did not reinstate the 27 members, you also have to, you are the one that is trying to legitimize what you did. So you need to have a positive order that these people are no longer members of the House of Assembly
Yeah.
and cannot participate in deliberations. It cannot be a negative one where you assume or you say the constitutional provisions are self-executory. So you now go ahead because we also have other provisions where the Supreme Court said, look, even if that is so, you still need a formal order of court to have as a positive order.
Oh, yeah. All right. All right. Let's move to the next stuff. I think that is settled for now.